My mother begged me to burn my dead father's clothes. I wish I had listened. My father died suddenly on a Tuesday afternoon. I was away on a business trip when I got the call from my mother. The doctor said it was massive heart failure. He had been recovering from a minor procedure, sitting in his hospital bed, and then he was just gone. I booked the first flight back, but by the time I arrived, they had already moved him. I never got to say goodbye. The funeral was a blur. Black suits, bitter coffee, awkward conversations with relatives I hadn't seen in years. My mother was devastated. She didn't cry loudly, but she moved like a hollow shell, staring through people as they spoke to her. I stayed a few days to help with the paperwork, but she barely spoke. Eventually, I had to return to my apartment across the city. A week later, my mother called. When I arrived, the house was dark, curtains drawn. She stood in the living room next to 3 heavy, taped cardboard boxes. Her eyes were bloodshot, her hands trembling. "Take these," she said, her voice cracking. "They're his clothes. All of them." I tried to offer a practical solution. "I can take them to the donation center this weekend." "No," she said, gripping my arm painfully. Her nails dug into my skin. "Do not donate them. Do not give them away. Do not even wear them yourself. Burn them. Burn every single piece. Pour gasoline on them, take them far away, and burn them." I thought she was losing her mind. Grief can do that. She was terrified of seeing his clothes, perhaps. I didn't argue. "Okay," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "I'll take them and burn them today." I carried the boxes back to my apartment, but once I had them inside, I couldn't do it. Destroying them felt wrong. My father had taken pride in his appearance, his trench coat, his suits, his boots. They were tangible reminders of him. I carefully opened the boxes, hung his coats and suits in my closet, and lined his boots neatly on the floor. For a few weeks, it felt comforting. Every morning, seeing his clothes gave me a strange, warm sense of his presence. But then I noticed something odd. The clothes didn't hang flat. The coats puffed at the chest. The sleeves bowed, pants hung open in a cylindrical shape. It was as if an invisible person was still standing inside them. I tried to rationalize it. Stiff wool, years of wear. But no matter how I flattened the fabric, the shapes returned by morning. Then came the sounds. Late at night, around 2 or 3 a.m., I'd hear a wet, wheezing rhythm from the closet. I blamed the old radiator pipes at first, until the boots appeared in my kitchen. I live alone. The deadbolt was locked. The chain was secure. Windows were closed. Someone, or something, had moved the boots in a stance my father used when standing at the sink. My heart raced. Maybe sleepwalking, I thought. But the boots were heavy, warm inside, as if freshly worn. I shoved them back into the closet. The next day, I left for work. When I returned, his trench coat was draped over a dining chair, boots beneath, perfectly positioned, like he was sitting at the table waiting for breakfast. I set up an old phone with a motion detection app, positioning it to capture the hallway and bedroom door. That night, the wheezing grew louder. I lay in bed, blanket over my head, exhausted and uneasy. The next morning, I checked the footage. Nothing happened for 2 hours. Then, at 2:14 a.m., the bedroom door clicked open, and his clothes stepped out. The trench coat, the pants, the boots, they moved as if worn by a thing impossibly tall and thin, with no human arms or legs inside. The sleeves and pant legs were filled with writhing, pale tendrils, twisting like worms. The thing crawled across the ceiling, rotated unnaturally, and mimicked my father's morning routine in the kitchen. Eggs, pan, motions perfectly executed, but grotesquely wrong. I called my mother in a panic. She yelled at me, furious and terrified. "I told you to burn them," she screamed. "You brought it inside." She told me what my father had seen in his hospital room, a presence no living person should acknowledge. And that presence had latched onto the clothes he'd worn most, trying to become him. I grabbed the nearest phone and ran for the front door. It wouldn't budge. The deadbolt, the brass handle, they were locked solid. My keys were gone. I watched more footage. The thing took my keys and threw them out the window before retreating into the closet. Now I'm in the bathtub, hiding, phone in hand, writing this. The footsteps have returned. Heavy, dragging, mechanical, right outside the bathroom door. I can see the shadows of those boots. I don't know if the police will arrive in time. I don't know if bullets can even touch it, but I had to get this down so someone knows what's happening if I don't make it out alive.